Kia ora tātou, welcome back to the Wargaming Den. Today's game of Kings of War sees me head up to Timaru, where I gave my friend Nigel a game using his Kingdoms of Men army that is themed on the samurai with some abyssal allies. He's got a very cool theme. We'll look at his army list in a minute. And let's look at today's Orc army. Long Axe troop as usual. Friday I got some of the Avatars of War Savage Orcs, which are very nice. Painted up 2 troops, added some regular Orcs in behind in the meantime to be able to field them as regiments. An Axe Horde with Blessing of the Gods, 1 Troll Horde, 2 Gore Rider regiments and the 2 War Drums with Dread. I've got the God Speaker, 2 Crudges on Gores this time, Gakamak, Crudger on Winged Slasher for 14 unit strength and 24 unit strength and 14 units or thereabouts. And I may be missing something, but Nigel's samurai themed army was approximately a spear horde with pikes, a rifle horde with a horde with rifles, 2 foot guard regiments, a beast cavalry horde regiment, 2 giants, 1 with each of Slayer and Rampage. I think he's got 2 generals, a captain and an assassin, or it might be a different character there. He had at least 4 characters, and allies to get up to 2,300 points, 2 succubi regiments, and a seductress. His unit strength is approximately 14 units and 26 units strength. Let's have a look at today's deployment. We rolled for an invade and I got to deploy first. I picked this side of the board and I deployed with the Winged Slasher, a Morax regiment, Trolls and a War Drum, don't mind the spelling, up there, Axe Horde, Crudger, Axe Troop, Morax and behind and Gore Riders. Forgot to deploy this Crudger. He's down here somewhere, I think. Then we got Gak and the Gore Riders down the bottom. The problem I had is I've got a War Drum here, rallying these guys, and I've got a War Drum over here. These guys have got no War Drum. I spread out a bit too far, as it turns out. On his side, Nigel's got the 2 foot guard regiments. He's got the Pike Horde in behind there. I think that's a captain. There's a couple more characters in here somewhere. The assassin and the general, I think. He's got the giant, the 2 succubi regiments that have got Pathfinder, so aren't worried about the terrain with the seductress. The beast cavalry, which are flying cavalry, we've just put them on a larger base. Another giant, and he's put the rifle horde in the bag going so that they get a bit better defense. So yeah, I was hoping to maybe swing around this way and maybe use my Gore Riders to keep these guys out of the fight possibly, but didn't really have too much of an overall plan apart from the fact that I realized that I had spread myself out too thinly early on, but that happens sometimes. Okay, so I got the first turn, didn't have a great deal to do. Moved forward a wee bit, Trolls advanced. Pushed forward over here though as fast as I could. I think I went a full 10 inches forward. Got the God Speaker tucked in here and the Crudger. I think that's the Crudger I'd forgotten to deploy when I took the photo. And the other Crudgers over here and the Long Spear advanced forward. And they've got the Morax in behind there. And these guys are just tucked in behind the hill. I didn't really want to get up on the hill. I'm really not sure if I want to face these 3 units over here. So not a great deal of action from me. On to Nigel's first turn.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Turn 1.
I'm always worried that the fact that this is turn 2.
Bottom of turn 1.
Aye.
Start before turn 2. Look at this giant. And who's that guy? Your Beast Cavalry. Without Vicious.
Beast Cavalry, yeah.
They don't have Vicious, do they?
They do not.
Or Thunderous.
No,
We've just learned that might not have been a good idea. He did 12 wounds though, but not enough. If he'd had Thunderous 1 and Vicious, he would have done more and maybe popped them.
I think so.
So it's an interesting human army. Orc turn 2. Yes, and as just discussed there, Nigel's cunning plan didn't kind of come off here. 12 wounds there, and the rifles did 3 there. So he charged across here with the giant and with the beast cavalry. He was talking about needing 30 odd points to get Vicious and Thunderous Charge on them. Turns out that the Seductress got an enthrall spell, which is worth about the same points, and Nigel decided after this turn that that's the one swap he's definitely going to do. These guys need a bit more oomph. Good idea charging with both these units, but it just didn't quite come off, and now he's in a bit of a precarious position. I don't really want to go in here against the succubi. They've got ensnaring, they're in the terrain, so these Morax are going to be on a -2 if they go in there. They're not going to probably destroy them, and then there'll be a giant in the flank. I've got Lefty over there as well, and as you can see just over here at the top of the screen, Nigel's moved one of his foot guard regiments onto the hill. He's got the pike in behind. I really don't want to hit them and open myself up to the pike, and the other ones are just supporting on the flank there. So very interesting turn number 1. Okay, so what did I do? Charge the long axe into the flank of the giant, supported by the Morax, and I'm not sure if there is a cruncher. No, it doesn't look like there is. So the axe charged the beast cavalry. They slid along. They've got 25 attacks there. I've got the God Speaker, but I forgot to cast Drain Life. Crunch is tucked in behind because there's an assassin floating around with jewelers, so he's hiding. These guys were unable to get clear to charge anything. As you can see up here, Gak and the Crudger have charged off on their first little Heroes Are Us mission of the day. And I decided they're actually quite a neat combination that I'm going to make more use of in future. I think that worked kind of well. Right, and happy with this. The giant is no more. The long axe have turned to face the rifles. They're out of charge range though. And I did 6 wounds by the looks of it on the beast cavalry, which was not enough to kill them. But Gak and the Crudger went charging off straight through that foot guard regiment, and their charge carried them past Nigel's troop. So happy with that. And you can just see my Gore regiment lurking down there. Troll move forward a bit. This thing here you can just see is Lefty's wing. I decided he needed to come over this way to support a bit more, which ended up getting him in all kinds of bother. So once again, poor deployment from me that I'm now trying to recover from. On to Nigel's turn. Turn 2, the Orcs killed the giant in the middle, and also Gak and friend killed the foot guard. Then in his turn, Nigel's mounted guys killed the axe horde and have turned to take the charge there. Dodgy over here, foot guard, 3 hits on the Gore Riders, 3 wounds, but rolled a 10 and wavered them. And the long axe troop in here got shot by those nasty bowmen and were well and truly decimated. So on to Orcs turn 3. Just before we do that, let's get a bit of an overview. So the giants move forward to support. Nigel cast an enthrall over here and moved Lefty about 3 inches till he banged into the war drum there, which actually improved my charge arc quite nicely. So I was quite happy with that. I think I'm now just in the charge arc of these guys. The trolls are kind of locked in and blocked up here a bit by those guys. But by not advancing further here by Nigel, I can actually just miss that unit and hit the giant, which I think is a better charge because once again these guys have ensnaring. I'm not likely to kill them, and that means I'm set up for the giant. So I decided let's avoid them entirely, go around them, try and aim at the giant. There I've got my characters. Yeah, so that's where things are sitting as we head into turn number 3. Things don't look too good for the beast cavalry. 20 attacks with Lefty. Lefty rolled his dice, and at the end of his dice, the beast cav were basically dead. I still had 16 attacks from the Gore Riders, 20 attacks from the Orcs to come in, so they well and truly died. And as you can see just over here, the Crudger is trying to chaff up the Succubi unit over there. Okay, so yeah, killed those beast cab. These guys have just turned and moved a bit. I'm trying to send the war drum across to support the Gore Riders. It's not going to get there fast enough. The other war drums moved over this way to support. So there's that Crudger coming, the flank there to miss ensnaring. Trolls did a few hits as well, and I did manage to waver the Succubi, but it doesn't matter because it got Fury just out of the charge arc over here. Of those guys, and this guy's actually a wee bit further forward. You can see that those bases aren't quite aligned, and so they're out of the arc of those Succubi as well. 5 wounds on the giant, not enough to do anything meaningful, but I'm sure that giant is going to come back in a minute. I think the foot guard did another 3 wounds on the Gore Riders and then rolled a 6, which is here for the nerve check. So 1 short of wavering them a second time. So that means next time the Gore Riders are going to be able to fight back. And there may be some support from over here. And that's the big pike block. Very nice miniatures, as is all of Nigel's army. Turn 3, I killed the beast guys, and that was about it really. I did some wounds on the giant. I wavered the succubi here, but they had fury. They came back with the succubus and killed the trolls. Nigel just rolled a high on his nerve check, had 6 wounds on my whatever they're called, Morax, and they died because I had no inspiring nearby. And I think that's all he got that turn, the Morax and the trolls. But it's a bit of a slugfest as we head to turn 4.
And the cavalry is holding on on the flank.
These ones,
Yeah.
Nigel was 1 short of wavering them again. Okay, bit of an overview of the end of that turn. So you can't quite see those Gore Riders. These guys are just hanging out. The Succubi have just turned to face. They've killed the trolls. The Crudger took 6 wounds. A duelist assassin or other character. The other character has attacked the war drum, damaged it as well, and the giant cleared out the Morax because I had no inspiring nearby. I've run away from my inspiring. I've got 2 inspiring sources up here. I've got 1 inspiring source here, and I've got 1 inspiring source there. So I haven't really been thinking too much about where my war drums and my inspiring sources should be in this battle so far. Right, Lefty and the Morax charged into the difficult going terrain and wavered. the rifles. I think that's about 14 wounds maybe. I killed the foot guard over here, I think, and I'm just running around being annoying. These guys are facing this way and are about to be flanked by 40 dice from the spears maybe. Over here, I think the Gore Riders charged through maybe the general or the assassin or something and carried on into the succubi, 9 wounds, and wavered them. Unfortunately, they got fury, so it doesn't really count for much. And over here, 4 wounds on that character that might be the assassin, Crudger, and War Drum plus Drain Life there as well. So yeah, not a great deal of action from me, but I've got, he's over halfway, he's over halfway, he's over halfway. Nigel's got, these guys are close to halfway, those guys are over, and the giant is over. So it's about 9-8 if we're looking at unit strength on each other's side. Bottom of turn 4, Nigel's killed my war drums. My God Speaker survived a duelist attack from an assassin or a champion?
A general.
A general. The Gore Riders survived an attack by the wavered succubi, wavered the shooters over there, and these guys did 40 attacks and killed the other God Speaker, and I'd killed infantry. So we'll have one more turn because I've got to get going, but it's definitely close. What don't you want to see when you've caused 29 wounds on a unit of rifles? A double one, first double one in the game, and quite a pivotal one. That was a tad unfortunate. What I wanted to do was kill them, turn around, face the other direction so I could at least get involved. My Gore Riders also charged over halfway, avoided the phalanx unit just to get unit strength on the side of halfway. But an unfortunate double one. And a bit of an overview from above. So yes, rather than engaging these guys, I charged in to just outside an inch, meaning they had to charge my Crudger, and they're in difficult terrain. They get, 20 attacks, but they're going to be hitting on a 4 or a 5 or something. These guys charged over here to get into Nigel's half. That's Gakamak. He ran over this way, so if there was a turn 6, he's not going to be, just because of the time limits. I've got an hour and a half drive ahead of me to get back home, and we've got to pick up the table and put it all away as well. So yeah, we ran out of time. We're just ending at the end of this turn. But if these guys die, that's going to give Nigel the game because he's got 3, 5, 9. They're worth 4 unit strength. I've got 3, 6, 8, 11. So this is the critical one. If these guys are taken out by the succubi, then it will be game to Nigel. If they don't, though, it'll be game to me. Oh, and there we have it. Looks like the Gore Riders died, and that gives Nigel the victory because there will be no turn 6 due to time constraints. And because these guys over here, those guys can fight back, they were devastated, so they get half attacks, but it meant that I wasn't able to turn to face this way and do any. So even if there was a turn 6, I don't think there was a great deal I could have done to reduce the numbers. Maybe Gak charging in here, but these guys haven't taken any losses so far. Maybe a better option would be for Gak to charge the giant. But even there, even say I do 5 or 6, say I do 6 wounds, that would bring the giant up to 11. Still, and maybe the God Speaker could have cast a Drain Life, but unlikely to kill him straight off the bat, so to speak. So just not positioned very well going into turn 6 thanks to that double 1 there not being able to turn to cover the threats. But great game. Really enjoyed that. That was a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's why I put them there.
Bottom of 5. Nigel's got 9 points over halfway. Just killed my Gore Riders, and I've got 8 on his half. So I've got to leave. So we'll stop it there with a victory to the humans. Well played, Nigel. That was an absolutely fantastic game. We both had our chances. Bit of luck went both our ways. For me, probably needed to deploy both lefty a bit better and also down at the bottom here, these Gore Riders, they didn't have any war drum support. So that was a bit of a mistake. I probably should have been a wee bit tighter with my deployment, but there's always something to learn each game. Like Nigel's army, he's thinking about he'd like to bring this down to our little competition we are going to be running King's birthday weekend this year, but he's not sure if he'll be able to make it because it takes a bit of logistics. He needs transport to get his wheelchair in and out of, and that's been a bit of a hassle the last couple of years. He missed last year because he couldn't get people to bring him down, so I'm not sure whether or not we'll see this army on the table for Oamaru Onslaught 2025, but I've got to get up to Timaru a bit more frequently. My father's in his mid-80s, so try and get up at least once a month to catch up with him more if I can, and I'm going to try and tee it in to do a few games with Nigel, Kings of War or other systems. We've been wargaming about 20 odd years, so it's really nice to catch up with him again and roll some dice, and look forward to doing that again in the not too distant future. But once again, seem to have got to the end of today's battle report, so thank you very much if you made it this far. As usual, give me any comments or suggestions for things we did or didn't do right or wrong. But until next time, thanks for watching. Ka kite anō. Take care.